Hey everyone, welcome back to Trek on the Tube. Star Trek Discovery Season 1, Episode 3, Context is for Kings has just been released, and so this is my review, Easter eggs, and references video. Let's get started with the usual first question. Was the episode good? Yes, absolutely. It was very different from episodes 1 and 2, which felt kind of like a TV movie prequel, and seemed a lot more like the actual pilot of the show. There's a lot of exposition, quite a few new characters that are introduced, and of course, the ship reveal. Episode 3 picks up 6 months after the battle at the Binary Stars, which places it somewhere around November or December 2256. Burnham's been in prison all this time, but a surprise transfer, followed by a convenient turn of events including the accidental death of an officer, places her on the USS Discovery. Now, the shuttles did put me off a little. They do seem a lot more advanced than the ones in the original series, and also, the design and paint job don't feel Starfleet at all. But I was convinced by all the other sets and of course the USS Discovery itself. We got some amazing close-up flybys that not only looked really great on screen, but also showed that the ship's hull features some very simple, basic textures. This all fits in perfectly with the ships in the original series, and I can only imagine that's exactly what they were going for. The episode has a good story that sets up 3 main elements: how weird the ship is, how shady the captain is, and how much everyone hates Michael Burnham. And it does all 3 very well. Elements like the Black Alert get the audience both intrigued and scared, but then things get even worse when we find out Captain Lorca has some crazy lab in which he's decided to capture the beast from the USS Glenn. Fun fact, the phrase "hey kitty kitty" doesn't apply when talking to a Klingon murdering monster, and only a crazy person would say something like that. The characters are all very interesting, especially Captain Lorca, though I found Burnham being called Starfleet's first mutineer just a little weird. Starfleet's been around 100 years at this point, so it doesn't seem that believable. Concerning the acting, it was really great. I know I've said this in each review up until now, but it's true. Some TV shows don't have a solid supporting cast or use mediocre actors for characters that won't be around for too long. But so far, I've had no issues with Discovery on that front. Okay, so after watching essentially a double episode pilot followed by another pilot, how do I feel about all this? Well, I'm torn. As a TV show, after only 3 episodes, I can already say with confidence that it's awesome. But as a Star Trek TV show, I'm not so sure yet. Above anything else, the thing I love the most about watching an episode of Star Trek is being overwhelmed by a feeling of hopefulness, even when there's impending doom. Discovery clearly hasn't delivered that yet, but it may simply be too early to say, so we'll talk more about this when we get to the mid-season finale. In the meantime, I will say that I did appreciate seeing those mangled up bodies. It added a true sense of danger to exploring the unknown and experimenting a little too much. So the TV mature rating wasn't a bad thing after all. Okay, so Easter eggs, references, and observations. Concerning the ship and its mission, not only do we get that black alert, but we also see black badges. The captain receives a transmission considered above top secret, and the ship's registry is 1031. So a lot of people are thinking Discovery might be a Section 31 story. Of course, it could also be argued that the USS Glenn's registry was 1030, not something like 2031, and the black badges would be a pretty stupid choice for a secretive Black Ops division. But you never know. At this point, it's too early to say anything, and I just thought it was an interesting theory to point out. Technology and set-wise, this is the first time we've seen a standing desk in Star Trek. Engineering looks very much like the original series, and we even get to see a microtape which Burnham inserts into a retro-looking console. The microtape is a visually revamped version of the ones from the original series, and as much as I liked seeing it, I found it didn't fit well with the holographic display that popped up shortly after. Some random Easter eggs include the Andorians being name-dropped a couple times, as well as Romulus. Just to be clear, we won't see Romulans in Discovery, or at least in Season 1. The writers have said that it's considered a bad word in the writers' room, and I really hope we're gonna see Andorians. They've been teasing them for a couple episodes now, and I'm really getting anxious to see them. The prisoners in the shuttle base say they're going to Tellan, a system previously mentioned in the original series. They also say that they're being transferred because their dilithium pocket went piezoelectric, which is something that happened to a planet in the Next Generation. Burnham used a form of Vulcan martial arts and name-dropped Amanda Grayson, Sarek's wife. She also explained Amanda would read Alice in Wonderland to her and her son, Spock. We also see a Tribble. They've been featured in so much Trek before it's barely even an Easter egg anymore, but I just wanted to point out that it wasn't reproducing. Regarding the various places Burnham sees when Lorca shows her a bit of what they're trying to accomplish on the ship, this looks exactly like the Preserver's obelisk from the original series, and this looks a lot like Starbase 11. Captain Lorca has a secret lab that the producers are calling Lorca's Menagerie, and inside there was a Gorn skeleton. We know first contact between humans and the Gorn took place in 2267 during the original series, a good 10 years after the episode, but Discovery still found a way to integrate the classic alien. We've also seen a Gorn in the animated series and in the Mirror Universe during Enterprise. Just to be clear, I'm pretty sure Lorca or anyone in Starfleet didn't kill the poor Gorn, thus changing canon. I'm betting they just found the skeleton on a planet somewhere or on a drifting ship. They were intrigued and kept it. Or maybe Lorca has contacts and he found someone that would sell him the skeleton on the black market. He also has a Cardassian vole like the ones we see in Deep Space Nine. Yes, it was confirmed on After Trek. They also seem huge compared to the ones that we've already seen on Deep Space Nine, but hey, maybe it's just a space ROUS. One last word about Captain Lorca, and this is purely speculation, but is he Garth of Izar? I know a few are going to point out Garth of Izar's real name is supposed to be Kelvin Leonard Garth, but that's not canon. So could Gabriel Garth Lorca be a thing? Okay, well that was my episode 3 breakdown. I hope you enjoyed it. I also hope you're enjoying Star Trek Discovery. I know I am. I say this with hesitation because it really feels like I've been thrown into the deep end. Nothing's the same and yet everything is. It's just a bit off-putting. But Star Trek is about embracing change and differences. If we can't apply that to the movies and TV shows as well as people, then are we really Trekkies? And with that, I leave you. See you next week. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, and remember, live long and prosper.